Jeff Durkin with We Are Change Connecticut out here at the 2014 Liberty Forum in New Hampshire, and we're here with one of the speakers, Cody Wilson, the creator of the first 3D printed gun. Cody, thanks for coming out, and tell us about your speech yesterday about kind of how you started with it, the idea, and then kind of creating that reality to the actual piece.
Man, so I mean, we began this whole project with Defense Distributed, which was like a year-long effort to make this gun with the idea, okay, let's make a single-shot pistol out of plastic if it's possible on common 3D printers. The idea was, if a 3D printer could today print a gun, wouldn't this kind of radically alter the gun political discourse, at least in America, but most probably in the world? That was a very simple beginning, and we researched whether it was materially possible. We set aside like the resources to do it. We raised some money online, but then a political and kind of symbolic process began, which I realized, oh my God, it was much more ripe for attack and riposte. And so then I kind of launched into just this whole other thing where we made it like a media event, and we emphasized the spectacle, and we tried to terrorize the system itself with this kind of like symbolic gift of this pistol that no one could understand. That was it approached this really high ambition, and I told you about how we did it.
Just basically how long it took to get started, and then kind of the process up until now, where you're talking about different places like that, sharing it with everybody else. Yeah.
So, I mean, the first year of DD's operation, we got by on like 20 grand. I mean, it was not much. And a lot of that was just in compliance and, setting up and everything, acquiring a little bit of capital. The Liberator project itself, I mean, was done for just a few $1,000s, maybe like $8,000 or $9,000. We didn't even need the 20K. It was just kind of like, a buffer. But it turned out that our project became much bigger than Liberator. We were doing rifle receivers and magazines, and every week we were like prototyping something new. So in the end, we started having to raise more money toward the end of the year. But for 20,000 in the land of VC and startups and everything is nothing. This is a project just sitting on the table that no one wanted to do because of its kind of radical, antisocial, tendency. So it was extremely easy to do in the end. Did not cost a lot of money, and it only took so many months because in the end, for political and bureaucratic reasons, it was that difficult to get space and licenses and approvals.
Getting it to the final project when it was done, the media response you've gotten, good and bad. Which,
good, right? It's any press is good press, and we take that to the extreme. Like whether we're the kind of demon riders of the apocalypse, or like some kind of libertarian heroes, like we take it all, and don't really shy away from mischaracterization or caricature. In the panoply of representations is something kind of else and other, and I welcome all characterizations of what we do.
Really shows also the technology aspect of it. It's changing so rapidly now, where you could, the revolution of 3D printing related to what your project was doing. Your thoughts on that, and where you see it going in the future with other
3D printing as a platform. There's some really interesting stuff right around the corner. I'm talking like in the next 3-4 months, we're getting access to some capital which can do just things that had not even been conceived a year ago, and I didn't even think a few of these materials were ready for the market yet, and they're out there, and we've got developer access and stuff. So even though I'm locked in this engagement with the State Department and can't do what I was doing before, I can't publish the files in the same kind of public way, I still think we can create some goddamn terrifying stuff, and that it's worth making still, because it's still in the form and the pattern of these guns. It still unlocks something kind of like revolutionary or illiberal and strong in the American or global spirit, and so it's something we're going to keep doing. And we're working on a Bitcoin project as well. More to say on that maybe later.
Just wrap up here. Tell people about your website, anything you want to plug, particularly how to find out more information about what you're doing, updates on what's coming up soon.
Okay. I wanna shout out to Ross Ulbricht, freeross.org. This is the accused operator of the Silk Road, the world's greatest drug website on the dark web, a deeply ethical individual, if he is the Dread Pirate Roberts, and worthy of your consideration and legal support. I want to shout out the Satoshi Nakamoto Institute, which is a great resource for finding the history of thought and technology related to the foundations of Bitcoin. Something that you should understand if you want to become, one of these, revolutionaries on the front line of the tech wars and fighting with Bitcoin.
Freedom of the Press Foundation, which you can find at pressfreedomfoundation.org, is my new organization that we started about a year ago. It's on our board of directors is Glenn Greenwald and Laura Poitras, the NSA whistleblower, or NSA journalist, I'm sorry, and Daniel Ellsberg. The
Group, $10. So it's really exciting to me when you have that kind of support for it. It's a grassroots effort. It's an opportunity for people to say we want to break the back of what they see as mainstream media that really is controlled by corporations, special interests, and political parties. We want to break through it.